Hi everyone, and sorry I've been away for so long, but life kind of gets away from you sometimes. So, I thought today to kind of try to get back into the swing of things, we would try to cover a history topic that I don't think really gets enough attention, and that would be why or how did Scandinavia become Christian. And that is a funny story because, in a lot of ways, it kind of addresses probably one of the biggest trends that we people need to think about the Viking period. And that is during this period, we see jarls, chiefs, all these groups of people wanting to try and centralize power and control and and to maintain a household guard or army or at least alliances. We see the usage of gift giving, and a lot of times some of the more famous raids we think about Lindisfarne a lot or the raids along France, modern day Germany, but back then the Holy Roman Empire. Um, Trade missions to modern day Iraq, Iran. Um, the growth of Slavic and Scandinavian influence in Russia. Uh, the growth of trade with Constantinople. A lot of these was to bring in economic power and thus prestige and goods so that the gift giving system would work. And that was fine, but, and one might argue that this setup can't last forever because obviously goods, money, all that stuff needs to be ready up front. And in a lot of ways, it kind of brings in the issue of wars in Italy, where you basically have to outbribe uh, a say state's army to and thus needing stuff up front is the biggest limit. But because of Christianity's usage of baptism, kinship ties through godparenthood, um, the use of adoption, all this stuff that Christianity brings in can be used to solidify alliances to be a lot more solid than exchanges of goods would. But because the church itself has a hierarchy, we also run into the issues of scholarship. And one of the main scholars during this period is Adam Bremen, who plays an important part of um, both chronicling and had and ran the religious political power in northern Germany. So he was a witness to a lot of the figures and wars that would centralize Scandinavia from Bluetooth, Sweyn Forkbeard, and Cnut the Great. And because um, Scandinavia had more in common, both secularly and religiously, to England. A lot of the religious influence came more from England than it did from northern Germany and Italy. Thus, Adam Bremen, who thought he could expand his powers into Scandinavia, was thwarted. And in that way, Christianity was a huge part of the solidifying of power in Scandinavia and had a more of top-down process than most would think. And that's not to say there weren't missionary efforts or patronage by affluent merchants or even affluent women of the Scandinavian world. There was, but what really solidified Christianity in Scandinavia and started the process really was the need for centralization of power and changing the text of King in Denmark or King in Norway to the King of Denmark or King of Norway. And then we get into Iceland, whose conversion really was actually a lot of like slow missionary work that slowly changed landholders from paganism to Christianity, and the conversion of which came politically, but it was something that was a tide. And in a lot of ways, it was both bottom up and top down. So, in anywho, I hope you enjoyed today's topic and have a good rest of your day.